What is good? I am your host, Jake. This is Talks Within Reach, Ep.3. What's going on, boys?
What's up?
Good morning. Good morning.
Can you guys believe this is the third episode already?
Time
Yeah,
flies.
and we're
Dude.
doing it bright and early. I know it's not
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
get
I
posted till
know
later, but
it's
here we
not
are.
live right now, but it is currently 6 o'clock in the morning, Thursday. So hey, you're gonna get your most updated predictions, updated talk, updated news. Especially with the game tonight. But with that being said, let's dive right back into last week. A lot of stuff happened. Not as big of a upset type week as it was last week for us. Um, but anything that stood out for you, fancy shocker wise? Anything that was kind of like, you were watching on Sunday and you were like, "Holy shit, this is going on."
The Minnesota game
Yeah,
absolutely had me on the edge of my seat, and I never would have thought between Atlanta and, uh, you know, uh, just another crappy NFC North team that I was going to be so glued to my phone. Um, so impressive to see a new quarterback show up so fast and pull it off. Look like he didn't just show up, and that's what I love to see that.
yeah. And Jaron Hall was in for a little bit, got knocked out of the goal line there, got a concussion, and then Josh Jobs, obviously being traded from Arizona, comes in. Story of the week, I feel like.
The
Um,
actual rocket scientist, not like
yeah,
so we saw that with Matt Patricia coming in for the Lions. That was his claim to fame. He's this smart guy, and didn't have success. Now we have Dobbs coming in as the rocket scientist and showing he's got the brains to just pick up on an offense right away.
yeah. One of the cool things, not to go too into that game, was I read or I saw that he actually he didn't take any snaps with the team prior to that, so he had nothing to do with the cadence of the snap counts and all this other stuff. He had no idea who's anyone's names is and stuff like that. Like, there's actually a video of him before the game, because obviously he's the backup, so they just wanted to get some reps in. He's working with the center, trying to get the cadence down, trying to get the, you know what I mean, all this other stuff like the snap count down, all this stuff, and then he comes in and then has that crazy comeback. So good for him. We'll see what that does for Minnesota going forward. It'll definitely make this season a little bit more interesting, because that was the question, was what do they do without Kirk? Um, but what about you, man? Any game that in particular that stood out to you?
Yeah, for me it was the Texans Bucks game. Um, Great photo finishing at the end. But the story of that one obviously is CJ Stroud just stepping up for highest priority and rookie of the year candidate, because lights out, 470, 5 touchdowns. He was throwing it early and often to a little bit of everybody. Through to 5 different guys, all 5 touchdowns.
Really?
Yeah, so he was spreading around. He looked impressive. I know it's just the Texans, but beating the Bucks, but it was exciting.
Yeah. I feel like today we're gonna be talking a lot about CJ Stroud just in general. I think he's gonna be like a big topic for us. What was like interesting, but also pretty shitty about those two games you guys mentioned. It's funny that you guys picked those. Was I actually threw money down on the Texans, or no, I'm sorry, the Bucks to win, and then the Vikings to win because they weren't favored, and we all felt pretty good about Vikings. We all picked Vikings last week on our predictions, which we'll get into. Um, but I was like, me and Fancy went Bucks. I felt pretty good about it. They just lost to, Texans just lost to the Panthers. I'm like, I don't know. I kind of like the Bucks, and it was like $10 was gonna win, like the odds that I played or whatever. I think I did like a spread or something like that, and it was like 280. So and Fancy, I think you were watching Red Zone too. But if you guys were watching Red Zone, it came down. Those were like the last noon games, and both drives were coming down like, and it was Josh Dobbs and CJ Stroud and Baker and all this stuff. And I remember Baker and Dobbs were both on the screen on like a fourth and long, like 4th and 8, 4th and 7, or whatever, and they both scrambled at like the same time. So I'm watching the game, trying to win this bet, and I'm watching my quarterbacks go, and I'm like, in the first time, like, at the same time, I'm like, I don't
Yeah.
want them to get off this dual screen because I'm like panicking.
Yeah.
And of course Baker gets the touchdown, Dobbs gets the touchdown, Vikings clutch it up, but of course, the story of Baker's career is his team lets him down. So that sucked to watch, but it was cool to see CJ Stroud. But for me, I just got Miami KC. I think I think I texted one of you guys during the game. It was early in the morning, obviously, because it was a Germany game, and, Casey's back. Casey's back. I mean, um, they looked good. I mean, they did it without Kelsey. I think Kelsey literally had 14 receiving yards. You could stat check me on that, but I'm pretty sure he had 14 receiving yards, which is like that would be like the all-time low in a game that he's played every snap. He wasn't hurt or anything. And he also became the Chiefs' all-time receiving, yard leader over Tony Gonzalez by 1 yard. He beat it by 1.
Wow.
Because his brother Jason made sure to give him shit about only beating it by 1 yard, in Germany and not absolutely just demolishing it.
Do
Um,
do
but
we
just
have a mother tracker? Was she there?
he
Was
was she was there. Yes, she was
she
there.
went to Germany?
She did. She did go to
Wow.
Germany. I saw a
Wow.
picture of her on the plane.
Wow.
Kelsey was out there. A special woman, man. I mean, you know, how many
How do you
times are you gonna
pick?
be able to
How
play
do
in
you pick which
Germany?
one you wanna go see? Yeah, true.
Yeah. I mean, they were playing in Philly. She's probably been in Philly a million times, and
Yeah, lucky.
you're only gonna play in Germany probably once. Travis Kelce's probably got what, a good 3 years left, you know? So,
Mhm. Wow.
um,
Wow.
but yeah, I mean, in Miami, Miami's one of those teams where, I mean, every loss is to a team above 500. Every win is a team that's below 500. So it's like, at one point, are they, it's crazy to say, but at one point, are they frauds? And that's just one of those things. And that was the case last year. I think I don't have the exact stat on Tua's record, but Tua's record above 500 teams is just bad. I mean,
It's
Yeah,
very,
but
just
very bad.
so down 21 points early, right? I mean, it looked like it was going to be a disaster. But if there is a bright spot in a game like that, they did get that offense clicking a little bit. They
Yep.
were able to put together those drives. Obviously, they fell up short. They had a chance, but fell up short. Towards the end. So almost right.
Yeah.
If that counts for
Not
anything.
for anything. Yeah. But yeah, so those are the little shockers of the week. Speaking of all the players and whatnot, we are going to go over the DraftKings winner, I should say. Unfortunately, for those listening, it's not your host, and everyone's rooting for me. Um, but Fancy just kind of chilling in the middle of the pack for both weeks. We'll get into the graphic here. Um, but Fancy kind of just chilling in the middle of the pack for both weeks. Lower week for me for sure. Obviously we talked about it a little bit before. Um, Matt, if you didn't have CJ Stroud, Fancy would have took this one home. So yeah, walk us through your lineup a little bit for the winner there, Matt.
Yeah. So I kind of had that feeling, I guess, against the Bucks. That's kind of that perfect matchup for most offenses. If you're not playing Chicago or the Panthers, it's against the Bucks, and I felt like CJ had a chance to start to break out. So I did that stack. He did get a touchdown to Nico. I didn't expect 475 touchdowns,
You
44
told me you
points.
didn't predict that?
I didn't predict that.
Oh,
I was hoping for a modest 300, 2-3 touchdowns. But that's obviously you see that little fire icon is he was hot. And now I really was hoping I was not the jinx, just put it on the record. AJ Brown put together a nice night, but not quite the 125 that you've been used to.
yeah.
So
Which me and Fancy did forget to tell you, this will be your last podcast with us because of that. You did only take it that way you could ruin the record.
yep,
You're
I
upset. He
tried.
already beat Calvin Johnson. You're taking it personal, so you snipe him and no, I mean good week still, but like you said,
Yep.
not exactly what we're accustomed to.
Yep. And then so everything else just was consistent, and that's what you like to see, other than our consensus pick
Yeah,
was absolute trash. So Fancy, I don't know why you picked him first.
yeah. It- it's tough. He kind of let us all down, and Zach Moss let you down a little bit too, Fancy. I see that now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's one
that
of his
was
lowest weeks.
I am and I mean, you know, I I got more fire than ice. That's
Yeah,
all
that is
that's all that matters.
that
That's all that matters.
that is a fact. I didn't think about it like that, but you do
Yeah.
have more fire than ice, which is not a bad thing. I think Jonathan Taylor's just getting a little bit more of the focus now that he's back, got the big contract. I mean, how do you pay a guy as much as they paid him and not give him majority snaps? So I think you're gonna
You
start
gotta
seeing
feed him. You
I think
gotta
you're gonna
be.
start seeing those Zach Moss owners, if you guys are those. I think you're gonna start seeing him more be a flex play and a weekly fly if that makes any sense. But good pick on Amari Cooper, good pick on Dalton Schultz. That was good. And then for
Schultz
me,
was
I mean,
insane.
yeah, I mean, you picked him at the right week, and
Yeah,
so I don't remember the price you got him at, but I'm sure if we look at it was decently low,
like
which brings me
$1.
to $1.
He was
Got him on
like
a
the
fire
last
sale.
guy. Yeah, it was
Nobody
just
wanted him, so you picked him up. You're like, we'll give him a shot.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I had equal fire, equal ice, if we're gonna go that way with things. I like that Fancy brought that up. That was actually pretty funny. All of our quarterbacks did pretty well. Derek Carr didn't do as well as I thought against the Bears. But I mean, not a bad week whatsoever. White definitely exceeded my expectations. CeeDee Lamb, we talked about it when we were making the picks. It's
Oh
one of those
yeah.
picks where he's going to go against the Eagles. So if he does bad and I lose on this one, I'm okay with that. And if he does good, at least I did good on this. So it's kind of a win-win situation that we talked about. I don't really know what's going on with Zay Flowers. I mean, that offense did not do anything. I feel like, even as I'm sure you can contest in your home league, Matt, with Lamar. I mean, they won 37-3, but Lamar had one of his worst weeks, statistic wise. Like, he
Yeah,
just
it was insane watching that because I see him score. I see my alert come through that they scored touchdown each time, and oh no,
nothing.
it's a rushing touchdown. Oh great! And then they were blowing him out so bad he wasn't even playing
Yeah, they put
in
in
the fourth quarter.
yep.
So like, great win by the Ravens, but Lamar as my quarterback in the home league, unfortunately,
Yeah, he
scored
even put
pretty low
something out
there.
about that, like, sorry fantasy owners about that one or whatever. Hey, football's football, man. You feed the hot hand. I think Gus Edwards has like 4 or 5 touchdowns the last 2 games. So, you know, good little running back to pick up at this moment. He's got a lot of speed going forward. Downs kind of hurt me a little bit. He got hurt, and then obviously my pick of the week last week was Taysom Hill, which he did exactly what I thought he would do. Nice little passing touchdown, helped us out there. But for this week, we have our picks in for this week as well. Um, and what is this?
Before
And
we move, okay.
you wanna say something?
I just want to I've always been a big fan of Taysom Hill, and anytime I see him do well for anybody's picks, it makes me happy because he's you talk about someone for the team. He's like, wherever you
Oh,
need me, I will go there and I will do that. I will do that exactly.
yep. That's why I took him in DraftKings, just because his price was pretty low, just like probably Schultz was.
Yeah,
And it's like the guy could literally get a rushing touchdown, receiving touchdown, or passing touchdown. It's like I'm just gonna gamble on he's gonna get one of those or a decent amount of yards and something like that.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I'm interested to see if one of us took him this week. Did we? No, we did not.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. Did he get a throw? Did he throw for a
Yeah,
touchdown?
he threw a
That
touchdown.
was
Yep,
Yeah. So yeah,
yep,
you kind of hit all aspects of it when
yep.
he plays well. You literally have a chance at a touchdown.
Yeah,
You
he
know,
threw a
every phase of the game.
touchdown last week. The week before that, he had like 80 rushing yards and a rushing touchdown. I think he had a couple catches too. So when you look
That's
at a PPR
insane.
league, it's like he can easily get you 10 points, which you'll take 10 points from anyone.
Hey,
Um,
you might see him kick in next week too, maybe after you're seeing
I mean, hey,
the
we saw
backup
the
running
Texas
back.
guy. Yeah, the
Yeah.
Texas guy going there and kicking. I
So
mean,
hey,
Taysom
that's his
Hill is
new
the
thing.
guy, man. He will. I mean, if you look at him, there'll be an open field and then 7 other guys, and Taysom Hill will put his head down and go at the guys. He doesn't want anything to do with an open field. He's not a quarterback, and he doesn't protect himself. The guy's a
Yeah,
maniac. I love him.
yeah.
So he's a little bit older though, so we'll see how long he sticks around. I think he's like 33. So,
Oof,
um,
that's old.
not
Matt,
to not to not
shout
to
out
not
Matt.
to take a shot at you guys. I know that was kind of a jab early this morning, but going on to these picks though. Um, the crazy thing is, before I get into my lineup, the crazy thing is we all took off, as you can see on the graphic here.
Great pick.
And I was telling Fancy before you hopped in the call, and this was before I even knew Fancy took Laporta. I had Laporta as my starting tenant as well. We could have had a golf Laporta, all 3 of us going after it.
Yeah.
I think Fancy's obviously got him in his flex. Fancy had to stay with Schultz there, which we'll go into his lineup. But for me, I think it's clear as day for all of us. Golf against the second worst passing defense in the league. For that price, felt really low. I feel like he should have been in the sevens for his price. I really felt like it was low. Um, Eaton, I mean, or Etienne, we talked about it in the past. He won me the first week that we did this. I mean, the guy's just been a monster. He's up there with McCaffrey with touchdowns and everything else. Mixon, I just kind of like the matchup against Houston. Bengals offense is looking a lot better. Um, Dotson's kind of a flyer for me, cheaper price. Um, which I know you were pretty huge on Dotson last year, Matt. But Dotson
Right.
actually has like I think the last 3 games he's caught a touchdown pass. So it's him and Sam Howell are kind of connecting. He could be the kind of the future of Washington, in those deeper leagues if he's available. I know he's available in a few leagues. And then I like Olave versus Minnesota. They have one of the worst receiving or passing defenses as well. I think he's been kind of due. I think he's been kind of a disappointment this year. But and then Smith Najigba, I don't know. For me, he's so low. The last 3 weeks, he has outperformed DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. He has all the touchdowns out of all of them. He has all the yards out of all of them. So for 4,100, I know DK is the number one receiver there, but I'm taking the number one receiver the last 3 weeks on Seattle. Against the Washington defense that struggles against the pass too. So this could be Geno's game where he breaks back out. I think Geno's been rough this year. But Jonnu
How
Smith,
how do
what's
you
up?
say his name?
Smith Najigba. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, it's interesting because you'd think like the N would be silent, but it's not, and then it's interesting. Yeah, I had to listen to a few announcers say his name during the draft and everything else because I was like, man,
Yeah.
how do you
Just call
say that?
just call him JSN.
He's
Yeah,
new.
that is
He's
true.
new.
Yeah, he's a rookie.
He's
He's a rookie
rookie.
this year.
Okay. Okay.
He's one of
Okay.
the outstanding rookies that came out of the draft and kind of has been
Okay. Yeah.
been
Okay.
more of a disappointment there.
Okay.
But last 3 weeks doing really, really, really well. But Jonnu Smith, another guy, super low price. You look at his stats last 3, 4 games. He's been their lead tight end in terms of receiving yards. I know Kyle Pitts is there. That's why he's cheaper because he's considered the number 2. But even Heineke last week starting for the Atlanta, he liked Jonnu Smith over Kyle Pitts. So it's one of those things, kind of like Dalton Schultz last week. Just take him at a low price and hope he scores a touchdown.
I
And
don't
then
I don't think we're ever gonna see Kyle Pitts actually break out like he
unless he
like
goes
he
to a
was
different
supposed
team. Yeah,
like
unless
he
he
was
goes to a different
supposed
team.
to.
It's
So
so sad.
yeah.
I mean, he's such good. He's talented. I mean, he's so good. Just being wasted. I absolutely hate Arthur Smith. I mean, I don't even know why. I have no beef against him. Like we beat him in an NFC Championship, like the Falcons all the time. I have no beef with Falcons, but I just hate Arthur Smith. He's wasting so much talent in Atlanta. It's ridiculous. Like it's he's gonna be gone this year. I hope he is. And then I have Pollard. Um, I just think that game's gonna be a blowout. And I mean, Pollard's got a good chance of just running a couple in, and then they'll put the backups in and run it down a little bit on the Giants, and
The
then I got
5'5" backup.
Falcons team
That
against
little
the Cardinals.
that little
Yeah, the
guy.
little 5'4".
Yeah.
Yeah.
Deuce?
Yeah.
Yeesh.
There he is. Yeah. That'd be good.
But yeah, fancy take us through yours, bro.
Oh yeah. I mean, once again, golf price point. I mean, too easy. Najee Harris. I mean, Packers fan. I know every weak point, and it's everywhere. Um, and so I mean, we haven't stopped a run game in 10 years, so I think he's like it's gonna be one of those you know painfully nice things. Bijan, I hope once again puts it on Arizona. I would imagine that would be kind of like the Cowboys Giants game.
Yeah, that's one of
Um,
those matchups where it's good, really good matchup. But next week when we pull up the graphic, there's a good. I mean, it's gonna go one or two ways. He's gonna do really, really good, or it's gonna be like, what the fuck was that?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And at $6,000, I mean, I was
yeah,
on the fence. I was on the fence, but I like the matchup more than anything. Hopkins, after seeing the way Tampa Bay lets a team with no timeouts score in 40 seconds, I was like, that's right up Hopkins' alley. So
that's a really good
I
pickup
I
actually.
see him. I see him. I think 6,000 is a good deal for that, just knowing his history and that he still got that athleticism. McLaurin, and he kind of let me down last week on a underdog pick, but I
Yeah, I
think I mean
mean,
Sam
he
Howell
hasn't.
throws
Yeah,
to him a lot, and
13.5 is what he's averaging. I think last week he did 12.7 for you. So it's like you've picked him. I think every week now, and I think
mhm,
he's kind of that consistent guy. He's kind of that
yeah,
guy like he can do more than that, but he's gonna give you that.
yeah, I can count on at least that much. So, yeah, Olave, dude, I mean he's just prime, and I mean, I kind of stuck middle of the pack as far as prices. I didn't spend a whole lot, and as much as I mean, I put Derek Carr on a couple picks for prize picks underdog, and he didn't throw for hardly shit last week, and go figure. But maybe this week he'll have to, and Olave will be the target. That's just kind of like got my fingers crossed. Schultz, yeah, I'm going back with him.
Gotta feed the hot hand.
I mean, dude, I and it's still under 5,000. What are you
Yeah.
gonna do with that? And
Against the worst receiving team.
right,
Or,
exactly.
passing defense.
Yeah, passing defense. It's and I mean, like you said, CJ Stroud kind of breaking out and finding his stride and really opening up the rest of the back half of this season. Sad to say we're already halfway there, but or beyond.
Depression.
But it's like absolute depression. So I think Schultz will be another easy one to so I think Burrow's gonna, I don't want to harp on this too much, but I think Burrow's also back in that same stroke, and they're gonna need those points. It's just, I
Yeah,
mean,
Goose
just
is
like
gonna
it
have to
came
catch up.
down, just like the last game, it's gonna be a high scoring game. Laporta, I mean, 31st passing defense. Goff's gonna
That
feed
game's
him.
gonna be a shootout.
I hope. Uh I don't know. I mean, the Chargers. Oh yeah, it's Chargers. Sorry, I was looking at it wrong. Yeah, that's gonna be good. Oh, I mean, and then Niners versus Jacksonville. Uh, I don't know. I think I might have. I think I might be a bad pick, honestly.
Yeah,
because,
I was looking at that when you
uh,
told me you took the Niners. I was looking at that, and a
it's
lot of experts are saying that game's gonna be a shootout
it's
'cause
either gonna be fine with
or not.
their new additions, and
You'll get a couple sacks out of it, but
yeah,
that's going to be tough because the
yeah,
scoring, it's going to
yeah.
drop that down.
Yeah, but that's it. I mean, either Trevor Lawrence shows up or he doesn't, and if he doesn't, then I'll look all right. So
Fair enough.
yeah, we'll see.
What about you, Matt?
All right, looking to go back to back after the disappointing week one. I think I'll probably put up the low score
For the whole year,
of the
hopefully.
season week one. So I'll try to keep this rolling. We've talked about it. So I mean, right in this league, it's what we get 55,000 split amongst 9 spots. So there's a couple different ways you can go. Some weeks, like last week, I'll spend high on at least one guy or two guys that I want to target. This week I kind of just again went with the strategy of let's try to find a couple middle of the road guys that I think have upside.
Yeah.
Because that's what wins you these kind of lineups. Especially if you do it with not just us three. If you do it with some of those big tournaments, you've got to hit on a couple of these middle of the road guys. So obviously, if I thought about it as a joke, I was gonna see how many Lions players I could
Yeah, I
could
see
fit
that.
in my lineup. I took out Amon Ra, just because price point, just didn't help me out here. I thought it would be funny, but anyways, I kept in, obviously, as you see. I got Montgomery coming back off that, gave him enough time for his rib injury. I've got Goff, I've got Laporta. I expect that to be a high scoring game, like we said. So hopefully that doesn't disappoint, because then I'm disappointed on 2 fronts, right? For some reason, we all like this Washington Seattle game. I've got the other end of it. I've got their RB2 really instead of Robinson. I went Gibson just for some of that upside at a low scoring back. I also went Hopkins.
Yeah, you
I
guys
think
didn't text me about that. That's crazy that you guys all pick Hopkins. You just didn't let me know.
Yep, you
know?
should have. Well, no. So since it's only
I didn't
two
get
out of
the
the
facts.
three, then he'll actually score well. If it's all 3 of us, then
Yeah.
I think we're
But
screwed.
Goff is gonna have a terrible week, is what you're saying.
Yeah, actually, probably now that I think about it. Shit.
You're stacked on him, baby. You're rolling with it.
I know.
Oh, oh no.
And then I've got Ridley. I'm still high on him. In my home league, I really think he's an explosive receiver. We've seen a lot of that shared offense going over to Kurt. I think this is his week. He's getting back into form here. So my pick that I threw in here that I really want to talk about, though, is Hollywood Brown. With Kyler Murray coming back,
Is he officially back?
I'm gonna say yes. I think
I think so.
I think
Swear I
they're
heard
kind
it
of
was. I think it was one more week. Keep going though.
yeah.
Sorry,
So
I'll look it up.
I think that they're still kind of not showing their hand. I think but I think all signs show that he has a really good chance at starting. If he starts, I think Hollywood Brown is just gonna have an absolute monster week.
Yeah, you're right. Murray's expected to play his
Okay,
debut week 10.
So that's why I threw him in there against Atlanta, and with Kyler back, those two, I think they have a great chance of putting up some points. And then, I think did someone take? Oh no, you took White last week.
Yes, he did well.
I'm
21
hoping
points last week.
that he continues that trend. I had some money left over, for that flex spot. He was the best price point at that value. And then
Yeah,
and then I went kind of like you already said, Fancy. They play Green Bay, so Steelers are probably gonna score. 2 defensive touchdowns, and
look at the pain in his
We're
face.
gonna run the table. This is our year.
Literally
We're
the pain
back.
is you're saying it, dude. You can like see the tears just start watering up. He's like, "You bitch."
No.
So yeah, that's my winning lineup for back-to-back weeks. Is
Yeah, no one's went back to back yet. I mean, it would be a way to redeem yourself from the lowest. I think it might be the lowest in DraftKings history. With some, I mean, I don't know, if that was, but it was pretty low. It was pretty low week.
Started from the bottom.
Hey, like I told you last week, you can if you start low, right? I mean, look at me. I started high, now I'm on the bottom, which it's crazy that I was on the bottom when my lineup would have been second place easily last week. But like you said, you has DJ Shroud. We'll see this week who that player in these lineups are going to be. It's probably going to be Hopkins for like 12 touchdowns, and I'm going to miss out on it. But I gotta say, I mean, I not that this is part of the segment, but just looking through, I think I like Fancy's lineup the best. I think I do. I think Fantasy's got the middle of the road lineup, kind of a lot of consistent guys. I think I like it.
Oh, what? Sorry, one thing real quick. I know we all just jumped, and picked Goff the best quarterback in the league this week. But the other one I was looking at, just price point didn't make sense though. I mean, Dak's got to light up the Giants again this week, right? Or
yes.
so that's what I was wavering between.
My take on that is, so they played the Giants week 1, and the league that we have in the stream community, I had Dak Prescott as my number 1 quarterback. I started him week 1, obviously, versus the Giants. And I mean, if you look at the stats, he didn't do anything. So in those games, I feel like it's gonna be like one of the Seattle games, right? They're gonna win. The Ravens are gonna win against Seattle, but they're not gonna put up any like offensive stats. You know what I mean? It's just gonna be one of those where like it's gonna be such a walkthrough for the Cowboys. They're gonna get pick sixes. They're gonna get fumble recoveries. They're gonna run it in, do all these things. So I think running back is the plus there. I don't like CeeDee Lamb this week, and I don't like that. It might be a hot take.
That's fair. Yeah,
but I don't like those two because the Cowboys, if you look, when they if they're up 21-0, 28-0 at halftime, the starters are gone. They're not playing anymore. So
that's true. Yeah,
and I don't think that game's gonna be as close as like it's. I mean, I don't even know what the line is at right now, but I knew the money line is at -1,000, which kind of just shows you like the Giants have zero chance of beating the Cowboys this week.
Who's a quarterback for the Giants this
Tommy
week?
DeVito. Remember Tommy DeVito?
Yeah,
the Gabagool.
yeah, he's got it. I remember.
Dude.
Yeah,
You got Daniel Jones tearing his ACL, Tyrod Taylor getting hurt. So it'll be interesting.
I would have hope with Tyrod Taylor. I would have hope because it's like, you know what, like he's an athlete.
Give it to the Cowboys. Yeah, that'd be great.
But
the guy can't catch a break. He can't catch a break. With that being said, we're gonna go to the next segment, which is my stats comparison for you guys. I have 3 of them for you guys, and then afterwards I have two fun little questions. We have some interesting ones this week, boys. We got some interesting ones. The first one here is it's a small little stat line, so you don't really know what's coming at you here. But you got player 1, 1,490 yards, 6 touchdowns. You got player 2, 1,076 yards, 8 touchdowns. So you got more yards in the first one, and you got more touchdowns on the second one. So whether you're a touchdown guy, passing guy, or not passing, but yard guy. You got to pick your poison well here, boys.
Well, I think last week, I think I said it.
Yeah, I think who did he?
I think I said
We can do
touchdowns.
a recap, Matt. Who did he have last
think-
week when I brought this segment here?
The
Who
Gi-
was it? It was
I
you
had,
had
like-
Mahomes. He had
Oh, he had the
Russell
Patriots.
Wilson,
Oh
I
yeah.
had the
and then he had the entire Patriots receiving
Yeah.
core, and you had Nakua. That's who it was. Yeah.
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 I'm
So
gonna
let's
take.
see what happens. I'm interested to see what happens here. I got some tricks up my sleeve.
I'm still going with 8 touchdowns.
Okay.
That's probably like a season record for like all of Baker Mayfield's total touchdowns rushing. But
Yeah, we don't know what position it's going to be. It could be
Yeah.
anything right now. So
yeah. That
So
might
that's
be that might be the Cowboys defense. To be honest.
Now I'm confused. I was gonna ask you, is this?
yeah, I can't give away positions. So positions could be anything.
Wow.
So it could be a wide receiver, tight end, quarterback, defense. It could be whatever. It could be a receiving core. It could
Be a
be
kicker.
It could be a kicker. Jaker the kicker.
I like the yardage. I think touchdowns will come. Hopefully now if it's offense. But yeah, so I'm gonna go 1490 and 6.
I love that you guys genuinely always pick against each other. Like not even intentionally. Like you're trying to do it. I just love the fact that it always goes, one way
Mhm.
to see. So
Well, because only one of us is right. So
I know. Let's see who got the winning lineup here.
Oh,
What?
oh,
That is updated. That is an updated to this week. That's through 9 weeks. Their stats. So obviously you got the short end of the stick there, Matt, with Kenny Pickett, and Fancy's coming back with Tyreek Hill, which is nice.
I need him on my freaking receiver.
Yeah, you need him
core.
as your receiving core. I think him and Russell Wilson could do pretty well.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's an interesting one, man. Another like quick stat while we're on the Kenny Pickett topic. This is not one that I put up here or anything because I didn't want to do like 2 Kenny Pickett's. But Kenny Pickett through 21 career games has 13 passing touchdowns. So obviously this season he's got half of them. CJ Stroud has played 8 games, so basically a third of those, and he's got 14 touchdowns. So CJ Stroud has played a third of the games
Wow.
that Kenny Pickett has played, and he has one more touchdown than Kenny Pickett does, which is kind of a crazy thing to think about. And Mike
Do we have-
Tomlin he's still backing him up too. I don't know if you guys saw that interview, but they asked him about
Yeah.
Kenny Pickett. They talked about the passer rating in the first 3 quarters, and Mike Tomlin was like, "What about the fourth quarter?" And they were like 102, and he's like, "Well, that's all I really care about because the kid's got heart, and he comes back in the fourth quarter and gets the job done." And I was like, "Okay, I like that. I mean, I like that he's behind him, but I just don't see it. I mean, yeah.
What's the
So-
turnovers at?
For Pickens and
Yeah, like just the comparison there because I
for
guarantee
Pickens and
it's better
Stroud,
than
I'm not sure. I don't know how many. I don't
I mean,
know how many.
Josh Allen throws a pick like every game, and so does
Yeah.
Dak Prescott almost. So it's like
Yeah, exactly.
those guys got the
Um,
backing of their fans.
For the next one though, another one where it's gonna be a tricky one, boys. It's gonna be a tricky one.
For the record, I would pick Tyreek if I.
No. You already got Kenny Pickett. You got
No,
I
you
just
can't. You
Now
can't.
that I see it,
you can't back
that's
off
not.
of them, man.
now
You
that I
gotta own
see
your
it.
guys. Are you disowning them? Come on.
I already got
Wow,
a quarterback.
So
Lions fans.
player 1, player 2. Player 1, 2 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Player 2, 3 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. It's kind of a weird one. You guys probably thinking, what exactly? Look at the sun rise up right now, dude. Golden hour.
No, so
Beautiful.
so what I'm trying to think of now, because since you threw a curveball on that one, could this be like a defensive player, and he's got I'm trying to think the guy from I can't think of it now.
I'm going par for the course still. I'm going 3 touchdowns. I mean, touchdowns win games.
Okay.
You have to have points to win. That's
So-
in the rules, actually.
I don't know. So I think you're tricking. I think you're
That's
tricking
how
us.
you win.
I think you're tricking us, and I think it's a defensive player. I think he's got 2 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. I'm going with the first guy.
Okay. So Matt is taking player 1 and Fancy's taking player 2 again. Let's you guys ready for
Let's see.
this?
Yeah, we'll see.
So I know what you guys are thinking. First guy's Ryan Tannehill. So Matt, you are doing terrible today.
Yeah.
You have Kenny Pickett and Ryan Tannehill on your bench. Not great. Darren
Money.
Bland is a corner who's replacing Who is the top corner for the Cowboys? Why am I drawing a blank on that? He just tore his ACL this year.
Oh,
You guys know what I'm talking about?
No.
wasn't not Diggs, right?
Yeah, Diggs. Yes, thank you.
Yeah,
Diggs.
yeah.
Yeah, Diggs. He had all the interceptions last year.
Yeah.
Darren Bland came in, and that's his stat line right now. He has 3 touchdowns. He has more touchdowns than Ryan
I-
Tannehill, and
I hate you.
more
I hate you so
interceptions.
much because I knew you were doing this,
Yep.
but I just picked the wrong.
Yeah, you
I
just
had the
picked
right.
the wrong.
I had
Picked
the
the
right
wrong one. I mean,
mindset though.
hey,
I knew you were
yeah,
gonna do something like that.
yeah,
Dang.
yeah. So Ryan Tannehill, I mean, getting outperformed by a defensive player. Imagine a defensive player putting up more touchdowns than you, and Mike Vrabel still thinks that you're the guy. I just hope somebody has that much confidence in me one day.
Yeah, yeah. I'd love to have that from my
This
parents.
one's a little bit easier now. This one's a little bit easier. I gave you the hard ones at first.
That's what she said.
And but yeah, so those ones were some trick ones. This one's straight up. I mean, you guys are gonna know what position it is right away. Um, so you got player one, 2,270 yards, 14 touchdowns, 1 interception, 102.9 QBR. And then player two got 2,442 yards, 17 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 96.7 QBR. So you guys can go kind of go both ways here. It's just more so what you guys, value over the other, whether it's the touchdown interception ratio, whether it's more touchdowns, more yards, you know what I mean?
So for me, I like player one, just because of the turnovers that really hurts. If you're having your defense have to bail you out each time. Remind me what the QBR stat goes up to. Is that the one that goes up to like 140 or something like that?
Yes,
Okay.
I believe so.
So I think anything in the hundreds is
You're
supposed to
keeping
be
that
good.
ball pretty well protected. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that the ratio really I'm leaning towards that. Only 200 yards difference, so I'm gonna go player one.
Yeah. I'm definitely still going player two. 3 touchdowns, more interceptions, but Brett Favre, he leads the league in
Keep that in mind
interceptions.
with Josh Allen.
He also, I know, fucking Bills, fucking suck.
Fancy's always hammering Josh Allen for the interceptions, and now he's like, "It's okay for the interceptions as long as we're putting up touchdowns." But when
I
it's Josh
mean,
Allen, it's like, "Fucking how dare you!"
yeah. Well, I mean,
It's like
he
Josh
is.
Allen throws 5 touchdowns for 2 interceptions. He's like, 2 interceptions though. What trash! What
That's
trash!
that's Dak Allen for sure.
Dak
But
Allen.
yeah,
All right. Well, like I said, this one a little bit easier. In my opinion, both sides, you'd be lucky to have either guy. But interesting to see either way. CJ Stroud, player one, Patrick Mahomes, player two. CJ Stroud having a good that is updated to this week up until they play this Sunday. Or I guess the Chiefs are on a bye, but Texas play this Sunday. So with that being said, too, I believe I could be wrong. I think the Texans have already had a bye. So
I
with that
don't
being said,
remember.
I think this stat being showed. Let's see, Texans bye week. I think with this stat being showed, um, yeah, they had a week 7 bye. So with this stat being showed, Mahomes had one more game played than CJ Stroud. So the yardage and the touchdowns are only really, off because of the fact that, he has one more game played. I mean, I think CJ Stroud could put up 3 touchdowns and 200 yards after we just saw 450 for
Yep.
5.
Who
So
they got again?
what's that?
Cincinnati? Oh no, Cincinnati's gonna eat them up.
No, Texans have
Yeah,
not just
Cincinnati.
do they?
Yeah.
Oh, well, still
Yeah.
quarterback wise,
He's got
Cincinnati has the worst passing defense this season. So I
How
mean,
does Matt pick a quarterback every time? Like this is obviously there's no choice but a quarterback, but I mean he
yeah,
picked, you know,
congrats, Matt.
I
Congrats, Matt. Today you have Kenny Pickett, Ryan
I went,
Tannehill,
I
and
went full
CJ Stroud.
circle. Yeah, I got like a
Yeah,
little
Fancy's got a full
defensive
team.
edition. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll
I
trade you. Can
yeah.
I get
You won.
Terry?
You won last week, I think. LT with the stats. You did.
Yep.
I think Fancy got screwed over on that one. But yeah, I mean, Fancy's intuition today was. I mean, you could not pick a better team than that. Mahomes, you know,
Hill.
Tyreek Hill, bring back that combo. I like
Uh
it.
oh god.
All right,
Just
so before we go to the next segment, this is not really a segment, but something I kind of want to do every once in a while. I have a question for each of one of you individually. So it's just a question just straight for the one person. We'll start out with Fancy since he was the winner of last week. We'll put Matt in the timeout a little bit for those bad picks. I mean, Ryan Tannehill, Kenny Pickett. I mean, like I said, he picked AJ Brown. AJ Brown's receiving record goes down. I mean, I don't know what we're gonna do with him. But Fancy, ready for this?
Okay.
Think about this last night. Like I said, we woke up at 5:30 in the morning to do this podcast today. I was up until 2 o'clock in the morning making TikToks, thinking of questions, thinking of stuff for the podcast. Just excited to be on here with you guys. Rodgers comes back this season. Okay, I know he's not on the Packers, but Rodgers comes back this season. The Jets sneak into the playoffs. I'm just giving you a hypothetical, or
Predicting the future also.
predicting the future. Yeah, Rodgers comes back, quickest Achilles recovery. Zach Wilson does enough which we'll get into the Jets in the next segment here. Zach Wilson does enough to get the Jets into the playoffs. Rodgers is back, leads them to the Super Bowl. They win the Super Bowl. Okay,
All right.
but with giving that up, with the Jets winning Super Bowl this year with Rodgers, would you take that deal of all what I just said to you? But in exchange for that, the Packers will not make the playoffs for the next 10 years.
Yeah, I think I would. Because
the next 10 years, dude. You're
I mean,
you're 31, right?
yeah.
So you'll be 41 by the time the Packers ever make it back to the playoffs.
Well, good. I'll be off probation, and then I can actually go to a game. There we go. No, Aaron Rodgers definitely deserves another trip to the big dance, win or lose, and I watched the Packers screw him out of it with their 0 free agency interest, mediocre draft picks, and then I mean the trade deadline comes around, and it's like they don't even have their thumb out looking for anyone. So yeah, absolutely.
So
Like
this year, you're more of a Rodgers fan than a Packers fan. It's fair to say.
I mean, I would love the Packers to win, but the front office,
You're
which
kind
has
of
been
just hurt. So
it's been an issue since, I mean, long before Aaron Rodgers was even talked about going anywhere, before Jordan Love was ever drafted. The front office has, we got rid of Micah Hyde, when he was great. The Bills used the heck out of him. We got rid of HaHa Clinton Dix. The Bears loved him. It's like we need, stop putting it all on Rodgers' shoulders and then spending this money elsewhere. So absolutely, the Packers deserve a little bit of time in a slump because they've been spoiled, and the front office needs to be held accountable for that. And I want that to happen.
That's a fair take.
So I think I did that kind of in reverse, because I had to suffer through the Lions not making it, and then Stafford
you kind of just did that firsthand with
and
Stafford.
then Stafford winning it with his new team. So Fancy, I understand your sentiment there because unfortunately I did it in reverse where I had to suffer through the no playoffs first.
Fancy's been spoiled.
Yep.
But then for you, I want to think this is a no-brainer because I think you're just going to go right with it. But it's an interesting thing. It's what I came up with. Not that this is going to happen, but Lions win the Super Bowl this year.
Correct. Yep.
But with that, right? We saw it with Calvin Johnson.
Oh,
Jared Goff retires early, and Dan Campbell retires too.
Wow.
So now you're left with no quarterback, Monty Gibbs, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Laporta. But you don't know who's going to throw it to him. You could draft another quarterback and go through the quarterback ringer like you guys did after Stafford.
So,
or I think Stafford was hurt, wasn't he, or something like that? When you guys had all those quarterbacks, remember you were like, you had that one quarter.
So one year he hurt his back.
Okay.
1 year he hurt his thumb. 1 year he hurt his shoulder.
All those terrible backups.
Yeah, no. So no, Sean Hill stepped up for
I don't even know who Sean Hill is.
Yeah, dude, he was
just like my middle school science teacher.
Dude, it's like the most backup name I've ever.
He was the legitimate. He was the epitome of a backup.
Hill's like long lost brother that like never was.
Dude, he was the epitome of a backup, and it was, and he did pretty average for a backup quarterback, which is all you can expect. All right, so I'm torn because
it's not that I'm saying they're not going to win it. They can win it next year.
that's
They can win it the third year.
that's
So
where
how
that's where
desperate
you're
are you?
leading.
Like, you're not guaranteed a Super Bowl the next 5 years. So are you
That's
taking
where
it
you're leading
now,
me.
or are you taking it never?
Yeah, that's where you're leading me. Is my first instinct is take the Super Bowl. This is our year. This is everything that came together, and we win it. But that being said, kind of what you already just said is this team these next couple years
It's gonna be good.
have a chance, and I think that's what this year is our building block. This year, you see the grittiness of these Detroit Lions. You see these blue collar workers in the GM factories and the Ford factories.
Huh. They're on strike too, just like the Lions were last week.
Nobody's working.
So that being said, is I think I have it's a win-win scenario. But I would take the Super Bowl because I don't know that we're going to have this good of an opportunity guaranteed. Nothing's guaranteed in any season. This is our chance, so I'll take it now. But I am real, real high on the opportunity these next couple years with the pieces that the front office is really putting together, making some really good moves. They're striking gold on these draft picks. They're actually doing something with them. So I am excited for the future, but now's the time. If you have a chance, win it.
Yeah, and it's such a hypothetical. I mean, they're one, they're never going to win this year, but two, even in the far chance that they did, Jared Goff would never go anywhere, and either would Dan Campbell. He's got too much heart in that team.
I do love Dan Campbell.
Yeah,
like
I do too.
He's one of my favorite coaches in the NFL right now.
Yeah. But I mean, like you said, next 5 years, I'm not even being biased. I don't think it's this year. I think the Lions still have a little bit more to do. They're younger, like some guys. It's like you said, they're rebuilding really, really well, and they're doing really, really well this season. I think you're going to see them go playoffs. Maybe I don't know who they're going to go up against, right? But divisional,
Right.
or conference champ, like the NFC championship, like I could see them going maybe that, and then getting beat by just a more well-rounded team, with more experience. Like, I mean, the 49ers are juggernauts, the Eagles. I mean, who's going to win in a game? Lions, Cowboys. I mean, I would be rooting for the Lions personally,
Same.
but not that I'm rooting against the Lions. It's just going to be interesting to see.
I'm rooting against
There's
the
a lot of
Lions.
potential in the
I
next
want
5
that-
years.
I
It's
want
exciting
that
to
to
be a
be
Lions
clear.
fan finally.
It needs to be very clear.
What'd you say?
I'm rooting against the Lions.
Nope, your mic cut out.
You're rooting against the Lions?
Yeah, always.
Cowboys versus Lions? You're rooting against?
Oh no, not that time.
Okay.
But every other time.
I'm like, fancy Cowboys fan? This just in? I'm like,
Yep.
Yeah. No.
Put the graphic up.
Yeah, put a cowboy hat right on top of them. With that being said, though, we'll move on to one of our last segments, which is the matchups for the week. We have a little transition scene that Matt made for us. We have all of our records going up to this week. So the last 2 weeks combined, there's been 30 games. As you guys see on the graphics here, I am 20-10, and Matt is 20-10 as well. And Fancy, you are 18-12. Fancy, we talked about it a little bit. We talked about it a little bit with you kind of picking more, upsets, right? And still having that good of record, honestly. But before we get into that, I just want to point out that, like I talked about, my girlfriend helped make this graphic for us right here, right?
Yeah.
Which is super dope. This is what we kind of wanted on the podcast for a little while.
Looks amazing.
Looks awesome. But like I said, we are looking for a replacement for Matt because the AJ Brown stuff. I mean, Lions fan and all, whatever else fancy.
See you guys. Yep, see ya.
And she, Matt, me and you are 20-10, right? Fancy's 18-12. She is 22-8. So
Not bad.
not bad at all. But when does the time come when one of us gets booted off and she takes the spot? I mean, she got better picks than us. So
I mean, I think we can fit another box on here.
yeah, that's what I said. She said no.
Guest appearance.
That's what I
right?
said. She said no immediately. But yeah, first game of the week tonight. We got Bears Panthers. Honestly, when I was looking through
it, that's right.
yeah, it is crazy to think about tonight.
Finally.
Literally in 12 hours.
Yes.
12 hours from right now, the Bears and Panthers will play, which is kind of like, you got to go to your little 12-year-old's, nephew's game or whatever. You got to go watch, no one's going to actually want to watch this game, but it's on, so you'll watch it. But
Yeah.
didn't shock me at all when I was looking through this and I saw Fancy pick the Panthers. Fancy, anything you're seeing about that actual game, or are you just hoping for the Bears to lose, and just being the underdog again?
When it comes to the trades that they made for the picks that they got and the bind that they're in right now with their record's not much different. I think the teams overall are not much different. It's really a coin toss, and I just hope, for the sake of the Panthers and my, uh, I think they're going to pull it together. I think there's a lot of talent there that's still just working out the kinks and trying to smooth everything over. So, um, yeah, I even though it is in Chicago, I think it's tough. Panthers going to win on the road here.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, me and Matt went Bears there. I think that was an easy one for me. I hammered Bears -3. I threw $100 down, probably a little bit more than $100 down because I hit it earlier this week too. Bears -3 for me. I still don't think Justin Fields is back, but I still think they get the job done. And then we got another Germany game. Another Germany game. We all took the Colts over the Patriots. I think that's really just. I think it's one of those games where if it went the other way, if Bill came up with some plan, they beat the Colts, it's like, well, the Colts have a backup quarterback in, and we're not expecting the Colts to go to the playoffs, but I think a lot of people are going to be favoring the Colts or the Patriots in that one. Same thing with Bengals Texans. We all took the Bengals there. We talked about a little bit. Yeah,
I'm excited to see
yeah,
CJ though.
it's gonna be a fun game between kind of the future of the league, right? I mean, Joe Burrow, CJ Stroud, two younger quarterbacks.
Yeah, one thing in
And
that game. One thing in that game, though, I didn't put him in my DK lineup, but I like T Higgins there for the Bengals. I mean, obviously, them airing out the ball either way, but that's a bright spot that I wanted to include in my lineup, but
just can't with Fancy too.
I'm just tired, guys.
It's
I'm just
7 o'clock in
tired.
the morning. This dude's drinking and just flexing his muscles while you're talking.
I'm just tired. I'm just tired. I'm stretching.
You're like
I've
giving
been up all
a whole
night.
segment, dude. I'm listening, and I just see Fancy in the background, just like, just
I'm just tired.
cannons.
I'm sorry. Sorry.
No,
I'm
dude,
sorry.
seriously, it is the future, and we've seen a better Bengals team. We have. I know we picked the Bengals though, but is there any little sliver of us that think like, hey, the Texans, they catch the Bengals on the right day? Could it happen?
After last week and the Bengals' start of the season, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, he might have that swagger to him where
Just got a lot of confidence.
Yeah, he's coming off that. I mean, that's a great performance, right? And everybody's talking about him for rookie of the year now. Maybe that's all he needed to. I mean, he probably already knew it in his head, right? But now everybody knows that he's got a chance to be a good quarterback in this league.
Legitimate threat.
This is the stage, to
you got to beat those big teams to be serious.
Yep.
Kind of like Trevor Lawrence earlier, or his first year with Doug Peterson too, when he started to beat a lot of those teams that we didn't expect the Jags to beat because they were so bad for such a long time. And then he started beating those teams, and it was like, okay, he's a winner,
Mm-hmm.
Which he's got a good matchup this week too. But Steelers, Packers. I mean, we talked a little bit about the game. I think the reason me and Matt are taking it is like Matt said, the Steelers are going to score 2 touchdowns. Packers probably will put up like 3 points, but they're in Pittsburgh. I think I talked about it in the first podcast. I think Steelers are a tough team to beat in Pittsburgh, man. I think it's tough to go in there in that cold. I mean, I know Packers are used to the cold weather, but you go into Pittsburgh, it's cold there, man. The fans are loud, and they're just good at home.
Yeah.
Fancy, is that a Packer pick for you, or is that a legitimate? I think we could beat the Steelers.
It's a little bit of both. It's probably like a 60-40 split. Like, I believe in the Packers. I don't believe in the management of the organization, but I do believe in the team. I do believe in LaFleur, and no disrespect to Mike Tomlin. Absolutely all the disrespect to everybody else there. I not by a blowout, not by much, and it might be an ugly game, but I think we inch it out and work our way back to the top.
Yeah, I think that could be one of those games that stays, like, under, like, 30 points, just
Yeah. Oh yeah.
like a nice, like, 14-10 or something like that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Um,
Absolutely.
but
I'm
then we
oh,
found it.
one sec, one sec.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right.
I'm excited to see um Kenny, what am I
Yeah,
calling
he's your quarterback now.
no, no, no.
Oh yeah.
Pickens,
George Pickens.
George Pickens. I am excited to see him morph into the Antonio Brown we know. I want to see him when he doesn't get his touchdown and he storms off the field like a little baby. I want to see him take off his shoulder pads and run off the field because Deontay's back.
He's
And
out in New York.
yep, because we saw it last week. And again, I've talked about a couple times now these diva wide receivers. It's fine when they have productivity, and then they're just upset that they're not quite performing, and
Other
that's
team's
it's that
losing,
yeah, it's that competitiveness, right? But not the way it was last week. He looked like a little bitch
So
when he
with
when
that,
he did.
dude, the crazy thing is, as a teammate, DeAndre Johnson's 27. He's been in Pittsburgh for a few years now. Probably helped George Pickens out quite a bit when he got drafted last year, right? So lots of talent that George Pickens has. But the crazy thing is Deontay Johnson's last touchdown. Do you know who threw Deontay Johnson's last touchdown pass?
Cool.
Big Ben. That's how long it has been since DeAndre Johnson caught a touchdown pass. So for you to be
That's insane.
that's serious. It's
Wow.
um for you to be that upset at a teammate when it's been that long. I think it's been like 3-4 seasons since he's caught a touchdown pass. It's like you should be the most excited. I think Allen Robinson was in that clip. I mean, just sprinting right at him, excited. It's like, and Allen Robinson, I mean, he fell off pretty hard, and he's just excited that his teammate caught a touchdown. But in that clip, you can literally see him just pout away and just walk. I mean,
I
it was
know.
like I
That's
literally like
crazy.
when I was shown that clip, I was like, that's got to be edited, like because the way he walked was like an act like a child that like you took his candy away. It was like
Yeah.
it's crazy. Um, I haven't really known Mike Tomlin to like deal with that stuff very well. It'll be interesting to see what
Right?
Mike Tomlin says, or if George Pickens even plays after that.
Yeah.
Um,
That's tough.
but yeah, very interesting. Um, not a great move or a great teammate move by George Pickens there. But finally, me and Fancy together here. I think me
Yeah.
and Fancy are just always picking the Bucks together. Kind of let us down last week against the Texans, but
I mean, 37
Texans
points.
are
What
not
more
going to
can you
put up
ask for?
37 points. I'm sorry, the Titans are not going to put up 37 points. So as long as Baker could put up some points, I think we're going to be all right there, Fancy.
Oh,
But what did you like? What
absolutely.
did you like out of the Titans there, Matt?
Um,
Their quarterback.
that mayonnaise
Ryan
in it,
Tannehill.
mayonnaise in his coffee, eating whole bananas whole.
You don't do that?
Will Levi, no. Or Levis. So I mean, I don't
Oh,
know.
dude,
I
that just
don't.
made my stomach upset when you said that mayonnaise and
Yeah,
coffee.
that's
Oh,
so. The only reason I think I chose because I think the Bucks just are the team you can beat.
I mean, 37 points though. You know,
Yeah, that's
and the
true.
Titans
But
defense isn't that great this year like it used to be. So it's like, in my opinion, Bucks Titans. It's like, you know, are the Titans going to be able to put up 21 plus points?
I think Derrick Henry can run for 170.
Yeah.
Against them by himself. So I think that's the difference. And then now, hopefully that connection. I mean, you saw Fancy and I both um, picked him. I think that he's got a chance to air out the ball as well. You got Derrick Henry, so
Yeah.
I like them over the
That game could go either way, honestly. I can see it going either way. Um, a game that I don't think can go either way, even the records, 5-3, 7-2 with the Browns, the Ravens in Baltimore. Tony Romo talked about it a little bit last week. I don't think Baltimore's going to lose a game in Baltimore. I mean, if you look at how they play in Baltimore this season, I mean, it's a scary team to go up against in Baltimore. All three of us picked them, nice and easy. Browns slaughter there, and the next one though is an interesting one. I was surprised to see both of you go with the Jaguars. Probably I'm trying to look through. you know, other than Lions Chargers here, 49ers Jags, that's got to be game of the week,
Oh
possibly.
yeah.
Shocker that it's not. I don't know who's scheduling these, because sometimes they can switch the Sunday night game and the Monday night, or I don't think it's changed Monday night games, but
I think
sometimes they change
they
the times. Yeah,
flex out that, yeah.
sometimes they change them out, and it's just a shocker to me that last week the Cowboys and the Eagles weren't in Sunday night, and then it surprises me now that you don't see Lions, Chargers, or Jags, 49ers in that Sunday night football game. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna take the 49ers. I think they're coming off a bye. They lost 3 weeks in a row. I think it comes down to that this is the week where it's like, you can't drop to 5-4 because I think the Seahawks win this week, which they go 6-3. You start slipping back in that division, you know, I just don't see them losing 4 in a row, I think it's that they're just too good of a team. I think that bye week kinda helped them heal up a little bit. They added Chase Young, and, I think they get the job done in Jags.
No, nope.
Nope. No way,
I
man.
mean, I think Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars are kind of heating up just the same way that the Ravens are, and at home. Not that the Niners are. I don't think they've fallen off. I don't think they're a hoax. A 3-game losing streak doesn't mean anything to anybody, right? Um, I think I think Trevor Lawrence is really, really feeling himself. And at home, I think they win this close game. Yeah, and then you know, Niners are slip down.
I'm excited to see the productivity out of Ridley. I think that's where they can exploit the 49ers. Um, I told Fancy, he took their defense of the 49ers.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see the pressure that Chase Young
Yeah.
and Bosa can put on Trevor Lawrence, but he's used to that pressure. I think he's going to be. I think we were all over this one, right? You took ETN again at running back. Your confidence in him is high, right? So I think this should be a fun game if San Francisco can figure out what the heck they did these past couple weeks.
Yeah.
As they fell off a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, when you talk about the 49ers defensive line too, people forget, they got Chase Young and Nick Bosa now, but they have Javon Hargrave, who is from the Eagles. When they won Super Bowl, he's a monster. And then they have, Armstead too, who's an absolute monster. So that defensive line I take pride in the Eagles having the best defensive line and offensive line, in my opinion, but that line is up there for. I mean, we got to see how they will play. I know they were college teammates, but we'll see how it transitions to the NFL. But then we got Saints Vikings, man. I feel like, man, if I gotta be honest, I feel like you guys kind of let me down here. Um, I feel like we all rocked with the Vikings last week against the Falcons. I know the Saints are a different team, and it's a big week for the Saints because they can start taking away the division there in the NFC South. But I just got confidence with Dobbs, man. They're at home. I think he's gonna enjoy. I think Minnesota's gonna welcome him with open arms, and he's gonna have a full team rep, this week. And if I think Justin Jefferson is back. I think
I
I saw
saw
on the
that.
draft.
I saw something.
He's activated. He's activated. There's no chance.
You don't think he's playing?
I don't think he's playing. I think they're activating him, and I think they'll give him a full week.
Okay.
Another week of practice.
Yeah. I mean, even with that, I still think the Vikings got it done. Before I think their defense will step up a little bit more, and things we've talked about it before with Derek Carr. I just don't think he's consistent enough for me to have confidence in him. So I think you can get any type of Derek Carr, in Minnesota, throw a couple picks. I got Vikings.
Yeah, and I wavered on this one. I will tell you that with Dobbs coming in, I think he's going to be able to pick up, now another week with the playbook and actually put together. But unfortunately, we saw he was still able to play well, or good enough when he was with the Cardinals. They just couldn't get the win. So I think I think it should be a good matchup, but I've got the Saints edging them out to win this one.
Absolutely. I think it's going to be close. And I think now I look at it and think about it a little bit longer. As you guys say what you said, I think this is a good week to have Taysom Hill.
Yeah,
I
very
think it's
true.
a good week. I think that's going to be a prime target. Just default, just dump it to him, little Jason Witten style. Just getting those fucking hard yards.
Then we got the shit show matchup, Falcons Cardinals. I don't think. Yeah. I mean,
I'm surprised that's not Monday night game. Honestly, that's the NFL par for the course
prime
for
time.
Monday night. Yeah.
No. That was actually competing for the Thursday night game.
Yeah, Bezos matchup. Yeah,
of the worst matchup, but they
Yeah.
decided
the Falcons had too many wins for that matchup.
Yeah, they had decided to flex it out to a afternoon game.
Or a 3:00 game. Yeah, for Central.
Falcons
Then
has as many wins as all three of those other teams.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. Bears, Panthers, and Cardinals all jumbled up together, max out for the Falcons wins, which we all know how bad the Falcons have been this year too. So that just goes to show you how bad those teams are.
Wow.
Which makes that meme I sent you that I made that's going to be posted on TikTok and YouTube today even funnier, fancy. I'll send it to you later, Matt. We got Lions Chargers. We all picked Lions. I think that's just going to be one of those matchups where, I think we all picked Lions players in the DK thing. I think that's just an easy sweep for us. Like we've talked about a million times on this podcast already. One of the worst passing defenses in the Chargers. So that's an easy sweep for us. I think most of Americans are going to go with the Lions there. And then another extremely easy pick, Cowboys versus Giants. Like I said, I think the starters are going to be out for the Cowboys by halftime. It's just going to be a really shitty game. I'm glad it's at like the 3:00 time where I'm not going to get stuck watching it any other slot. But then we got. I'm actually interested in this matchup. I think I talked about it a little bit with you, Fancy.
Hey,
Fancy's been locked in with the glasses now.
Who's that smart guy right there?
Yeah.
There we
go. Interesting matchup. I think it could go either way. I do like Fancy's pick. I did move a little bit in Fancy's direction with Washington, and then I was like, you know what? No, Seattle, they need it. They're gonna get it done. I just think Seattle's gonna win. I don't have any other info more than that. But like I said, I would not surprise me if Geno Smith had his not breakout game, but his game that gets him back on track this season. So
yeah, I know you picked JSN in your lineup, but I think this is the week that and I guess take your pick. I don't know if it's going to be DK. I don't know if it's going to be Lockett. I think in order to win this game, he's got to go to one of his reliable superstar wide receivers, and he hasn't done that this year. So I think if he does that, they can air it out against the Commanders.
Yeah.
No, so all that's wrong. No, I'm just kidding. It was a tough choice for me to go with Washington, but like I talked with you, Jake, right before we fire this thing up.
Threw a little nice stat out. I mean,
nice little stat out there. Sam Howell's second leading in the league for passing yards.
I did not know that.
And Geno Smith isn't even on there, so he's not even top 32. I'm just kidding.
I was gonna say he doesn't throw the ball. Yeah, he hasn't.
Yeah. And I just it's a tough one. I mean, I think these teams are very similar. I do see the Seahawks fighting a lot harder than they did against the Ravens. But I mean, I do think the NFC East minus the Giants is, a pretty good little division, and
Best division in the league, some would say.
I mean, some
Only
wrong people would say that, and I think the Commanders, edge it out just a little bit.
And then we got the Sunday Night Football matchup. Yeah, exactly. Sunday Night Football matchup. Shout out Ronnie. I mean, not exactly the teams I want to watch Sunday night. Not exactly how I want to wrap up my weekend. And then dive into work on Monday.
I'll be in bed early.
Yeah. This could be one of those where Fancy's texting me like, "This is the Zach Wilson that I wanted to see," and then I'm like, Did you see that second half? He's like, dude, I fell asleep after the first snap. But man, I gotta be honest with you guys. I texted you guys when you guys sent me these picks.
Yep.
I cannot believe you guys are both going Jets. I think you guys all want to see Rodgers come back and have a playoff chance, which I'm not against that. But when Zach Wilson has one touchdown, the Jets have one touchdown in the last 2 weeks against two really shit teams. Like, think about it. We're talking about the Lions just gonna obliterate the Chargers defense because the Chargers defense had the worst passing defense, right? They don't put up a touchdown against them, and then they literally put up one touchdown against the Giants. So we're talking about two teams now that we are constantly voting on against. They're going to get blown out because of their defense, and the Jets have put up one touchdown against both of them combined. And the Raiders looked good last week. They did. New coach, new vibe, new energy there. I think it's not even close. I think it's a 2-possession game. And they're at home. Like, they're gonna. I mean, Max Crosby's gonna kill Zach Wilson. Like,
Yeah, so like I told you, they're all out of cigars. They won their Super Bowl already last week.
yeah, you can't do that.
What's that?
You can't. Not you. Them. Like,
Yeah. I mean,
you can't win. You can't win your 4th game of the season.
It was
still be like 3rd in your division. And
weird flex.
pull
Weird
out
flex
the
there.
cigars.
Yeah. So that's why.
Guy, fancy. I mean,
yeah,
we talked about it.
I find if I stub my toe, I'm smoking a cigar.
Fancy smoking a cigar after this episode.
So I mean, that's why it's to me that's like a weird mindset that literally it took just winning your 4th game of the season.
I think it was just more so celebrating that McDaniels was gone
and just show that they could do it. Yeah, without that. That's what's holding them back.
But I don't like it. You're right. It's like touching the trophy in hockey when they touch it and they're not there yet. Like, it's bad luck.
So what I see is, I'm going to say it probably every week, right? Is I want this narrative to stay alive of ayahuasca, darkness retreats,
ashwagandha.
I want him to, and he looked good. He looked good in warmups,
throwing 50-yard bombs.
He looked good in warmups. He's coming back. So, if this week Zach Wilson can
throw a touchdown pass, maybe.
I mean, not throw 7 interceptions. Then I think what happens is, you got Sauce Gardner scoring a touchdown. For the defense, you get a defensive score.
Williams.
You get Breece Hall. You get get it out of his hands. Get it literally out of Zach Wilson's hands. Don't let him screw it up. And I think you can beat a Raiders team that.
When they can do that, they have success because, where they find themselves in trouble is when the Chargers go up 2 touchdowns. It's like, all right, Zach, you got to throw, and he's, it's just not their team's identity right now. It's just, it's just not. I watched that game Monday night, and they had a lot of drops. I'll give Zach that. They had a lot of drops. I was watching the game, and they dropped a lot. But yeah, I just don't think he's the guy. I think at some point, if they're going to want to get this done, I think they lose this week, and then they consider Trevor Siemian next week. Not that he's much better, but
so I think they missed out on an opportunity. I know they really wanted to try to keep that confidence level up and say, no, Zach's our guy. You saw the Rams actually being the smart team sign in Carson Wentz.
I know, I saw that.
So they're going that backup route right now too. Carson Wentz. I mean,
I thought he was already on a team, dude.
I think so. Honestly, I think they would have been better off signing a guy like that who, he's not the best quarterback you've got out there, but somebody that can probably be a little bit more competent than Zach Wilson is your better route than trying to give this young kid the confidence, which he's just not getting it done right now.
Yeah. So I saw Salah had said, like, he was asked, like, why start Zach Wilson still, and he said he pleaded the 5th, and that, bless you.
Thank you.
And that is a that kind of says a lot right there, coming from your head coach.
Yeah,
I think you sent me that, didn't you? You sent me like the audio on it or whatever when he was talking about it, and he just kind of
Not
I mean, man. But Zach Wilson's taking some punches, man.
Yeah,
For
well,
his
I
career,
mean,
I mean, like,
they're not. I mean, for all the hype that he had, and it's like, dude, you talk about under deliver. I don't know if you could under deliver more.
yeah. I mean, we're witnessing one of the best Jets. I mean, one of the best defenses in football right now. Like, the
Yeah,
Jets defense is really good.
the
Like,
Jets minus the quarterback position has not looked this good, including their head coaching. It's like this is a good team. This is what they've wanted for a long time, and I think they deserve. And they're just watching it get wasted. Like at least one whole season burnt
Yeah, I
by
wonder
a
if
shitty
they
injury.
let you. I wonder if they let you come out in like a little cart or something, or a stool for Aaron Rodgers. So in between plays, he can just take a seat. Not have to worry about it. Maybe they can throw him back out there right
I tell you what,
now.
there's not gonna be a stool out there because when he comes back, if he comes back, that offensive line is getting blown through the water right now. That he's gonna be running for his life. No wonder why he tore his Achilles.
Yeah,
He's
that's
gonna
why he
be
got hurt
running.
so fast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
So crazy.
I mean, that's my biggest thing is even if they make the playoffs or they push deep and he's able to come back. I, I mean, I'm not that I don't want him to have success. I just don't see him being 39 years old and running away like he's on the Packers when he was 25. But yeah, there's that, and then of course they already dealt us a shit Thursday night, a shit Sunday night, so they might as well deal us a shit Monday night. We got the Broncos Bills, and no shocker. I don't even think that Fantasy's got to explain himself on why he picked the Broncos. He hates the Bills. Um, I don't think the Bills lose. I think this is one of those easy weeks where they kind of just get their, they lost the game to the Bengals there. That you kind of want those games because those are potential AFC championship. You know what I mean? AFC divisional, whatever games that you want to have back when you beat them during the season to look back on. They kept up. They didn't look terrible. They didn't look great. Kind of like you said, the Buffalo Cowboys. Um, but yeah, I think the Bills get it done. In Buffalo, it's tough to go in Buffalo and beat Buffalo. So
Look,
I got nothing. So go ahead,
I know
Fantasy.
I do. I'm just trying to get this lined out here.
Yeah. Let us know where your mind is.
Jets beat the Bills. The Bills beat the Dolphins. Dolphins beat the fucking Broncos. So if you add up the total capacity, that takes the
this is this is one of those, Matt. Please tell me you've seen the TikToks of the guy explaining the first touchdown when he starts. So he picks the first touchdown of the game on like a Thursday night or Monday night, and he goes into like it'll be like, so for example, like the Bears Panthers, right? And it'll talk about where's the game being played? Chicago. Who's from Chicago? And then it'll be
Oh,
like,
yep.
and then he like keeps going, and it goes on for like 5 minutes. He's like DJ Moore, and it's just like, I'm like, bro, like I don't know how we went from like who lives in Chicago to like who was riding roller coasters last week in Carolina, but he has all these things, and it's like the most random person you've ever. I don't even know if he's hit yet, but like I would love to see him do another one this week or for tonight and pick DJ Moore because hey, DJ Moore scoring a touchdown tonight against his old team might be a good bet. They trade him away. DJ Moore, little vengeance matchup. But those are our picks for the week. Our little predictions. We'll see how we do.
Yep. Did you go
Teams on
over?
a bye. Huh?
Yeah, I was gonna say, did you go over the teams on a
Yeah,
bye?
teams
Because
on a
there's
bye.
some big teams right there.
Chiefs, Rams, Dolphins, Eagles. Lots of fantasy owners looking for some, you know, some fillers this week. Definitely going to be a tough matchup to beat. I'm going up against Yaya this week in our league, Matt, and he's number one right now, and he's got Hurts and Nakua. So it's gonna be nice. It's gonna be nice going up
Yeah,
against
great,
the number one team.
great week up.
I'm number
Great week to go
two,
against them.
so it's gonna be nice going up against him with those buys. So you're either gonna be on one side of it, you're gonna be on the side that doesn't have Tua, Tyreek, all these other guys, and you're gonna be hurting a little bit, or you're gonna be the person that's going up against the matchup like that, and you're looking forward to it. So
Yeah,
those are our predictions.
I don't like my matchup. I've got Tyreek sitting out. I've got Puka sitting out.
Yeah.
But what I am excited for is hopefully Stafford getting healthy. And then HN coming back out of the bye
Those are all possibilities
for
coming
the
out of
Dolphins.
the
That's what I'm hoping.
what is Stafford's injury again?
It's that thumb.
or thumb,
Oh
finger.
God.
He just can't stop his thumb from being hurt, I guess.
Yep.
Doing off-field activities.
Just jamming it in
Jamming
there.
it. Yeah, jamming it in there. Um,
He's a soak it in cider.
but Yeah, so those are the teams in the bye. Those are our picks. We have one more segment left, which we will always end the podcast with. We have trivia with Matt. So we'll go transition over to that, and Matt's got a couple trivia stuff for us here. All right, what do you got for us?
Wow, look at that production value right there.
I mean, look, guys, it's 6:30 in the morning. That's
that's a great production team, by the way. So
yeah.
Yeah, good to see you guys do well. Last week, let's try to keep it rolling this week. I've got 2 questions for you.
We work together this time.
Yep, yeah. I want you, if you
All right,
can,
Fancy, let's do this, dude. Let's
try to
end
go
the
back
week.
and forth. Try to go back and forth if you can name them,
right.
or just start thinking about it. So, all right. So for this week's trivia, hopefully you guys listening can try to play along as well. Try to get these going with the guys. So, all right. Trivia question number 1. Go ahead and pull it up for me. Name the teams with 4 or more Super Bowl wins. And I do have a hint for you, Fancy. There are 6 total.
6 total teams with 4 or more.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I'll rip one off the rip. Patriots.
Okay. Packers.
Come in first at 6. All right. Good.
Oh, you do have the list. You have the list of.
Yep.
Okay.
So
Packers. I'm sorry. Patriots is number 1.
Yep.
You said
so
Packers.
They were. Let me actually. I should have pulled that up. They. I think they're like 6 for 11.
Yeah, with Brady.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are. So Patriots number 1. Packers are on the list, though, right?
Steelers are number 2, I think.
So wait, you said
6.
You said
I
Green
said
Bay.
Patriots. He said Packers.
Yep. So Packers at 4 Super Bowls.
Steelers.
All right, we've got Steelers at 6. They are 6 of 8.
So 1, 4, 6.
Cowboys. They got 5.
No. Sorry, no. Steelers are correct. They have 6 Super Bowl wins.
Mm-hmm.
So 2, 1, 2.
And then Cowboys should be number 3.
Attaboy, Fancy.
49ers.
Hold on. Cowboys, 5 Super Bowl wins out of 8 appearances.
And then we got the Packers at number 4. So then we got the next 2 teams that they have to have at least
49ers, right?
Amount, yeah.
Yes, sir. 49ers, 5 out of 7. So we're missing.
I think Denver only has 3. Because they got
so we have Patriots, Steelers, Cowboys, Packers, 49ers.
Correct. So we're missing that last team.
Dolphins?
4 or more.
It's the Broncos. Right?
The Broncos have 3.
Wait, hold on. So, Jake, what was your guess?
Dolphins?
Dolphins have 2.
But Broncos have 3 though, right? 2 with.
I thought they had 1 more before.
They had
Elway.
2. They had 2 before Peyton, and it was with.
I only had 2 with Elway. I thought they got 2 with Elway.
It was 98-99. I thought with Elway.
Oh.
3 for 8 are the Broncos.
Okay, so they have 3.
Okay.
Oh, Chiefs. No. They have 3.
3 of 5.
Fuck.
You're getting there though. That's close.
The 2 that they lost were against the Packers.
The Chiefs?
And yeah, they're the
lost to the Bucks too.
Super Bowl 1 and 2.
Lost to the Bucks too, I thought, yeah.
Yeah. No. They didn't go that one, did they?
Yeah, it's Chiefs Bucks. It was Mahomes versus Brady.
They went
yeah.
They didn't go Super Bowl 2. They went Super Bowl 1 and lost.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say because
yeah,
Mahomes Brady was the big matchup.
Yeah.
It wasn't scripted at all. Future of the NFL and NFL's future, whatever.
Yeah. At home Super Bowl team, whatever.
Quarterbacks you can't even touch or look at. All right, so we have Patriots, Steelers, Cowboys, 49ers,
Raiders,
Packers, No, not
You
Raiders.
guys say
Yeah.
Lions yet?
Yeah,
No.
they haven't even have a Super Bowl appearance. Dude,
It's one of those where you kind of shake your head when you hear it, just because half of them are by one of the guys.
by one of the guys.
Half of them are by.
They won one recently?
One of the guys is by.
I mean, yeah, in relatively recent history, yeah. Two of them are.
What does that mean? The
Patriots.
Giants.
There you go.
Oh, I'm just
Mr.
glad I didn't pick the Giants or Cowboys. Fuck
How,
that.
I'm like, how is the
Dude,
NFC East guy not knowing
I emotionally and mentally wiped that out of my brain. You know what I mean? Like, so I didn't even happen. But yeah, Eli.
the fucking mom and dad of the NFC East? Fucking
Oh,
Yeah, somehow Eli Manning
got the job
beat the
done.
greatest.
with those two, yeah.
Got the job
Yeah.
done. That was a good one.
That was good. Wow.
Thank you. All right, for our second question, give me 1 second while the production crew works on
Yeah,
this.
I'm honestly surprised that I didn't mess up. I don't know.
Yep.
Okay. I'm honestly surprised that I didn't mess up any scenes or any transitions because I feel like I'm half awake right now.
Yeah. And first time with these absolutely amazing graphics and
Yeah.
transition screens. So
Yep.
good job, production crew. All right, trivia question number 2. Great job, guys. Yeah, you got 5 of those. So that was
I
pretty
didn't
good.
see this one. Obviously, I saw the other one. So
Yeah.
Oh.
So this one, I mean,
for career touchdowns.
this might be tough. So name the top 5 wide receivers in career touchdowns.
Well, first one's easy because Jared Rice. Because he's
sir.
number one touchdown and receiving yards, I believe.
Yep.
So that's easy. Okay, so it's wide receivers, not just receivers, like in a receiving touchdown. I was thinking like Tony or not Tony Gonzalez. Yeah.
Megatron's got to be in there, right?
No, he didn't play long enough. Randy Moss.
Oh yeah.
Number 2.
He's number 2. So we have 1 and 2 already.
Yep. Great job.
That's gonna make it harder.
T.O.
Look at you. 1, 2, 3.
I'm mad because I have these jerseys in my closet and I'm not thinking of these guys. Like I'm like
literally got.
yeah.
Oh my god!
All right,
like-
these next 2. I mean, I really expect you get number 5.
I'm gonna
we
say
don't
my
get a
next
hint?
my next one might be low. He might have just missed, but Larry Fitz.
All right, he was up there.
He was
Let me
number
see
7.
what number he's at though. Should have had that pulled up. I apologize.
No, you're good. Because I feel like Larry Fitz has got to be up there, right? You have Larry Fitz's jersey, Fancy?
No, I don't have Fitzgerald.
That'd be a good jersey to have. I feel like.
I know. I have a different Cardinals one.
All right, now I can't.
Wait, so you don't even have the top 5 on your list?
No, I have the top 5. Yeah, he's
Okay,
not
so
on
he's
there.
not in there,
But I just remember. I remember he's within that. I want to
Okay.
say top 10.
Okay.
But he
But
might
Larry's
be,
not in there, so I have 1, 2, 3.
You have 1, 2, 3. And I
Marvin
think
Harrison.
there we go. I said I think you're gonna get 5. That's 5. That's Marvin Harrison at number 5.
I don't know why. I know I'm wrong, but I just want to say Reggie Wayne. I feel like Reggie Wayne just had a good, solid career. No, like
Yeah, I don't know.
man, you got how many under? I got 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, you walked through 1, 2, 3, and then like I said, you jumped to 5 because that's who I thought.
I have no hint.
Larry was 5, man. I really thought Larry was gonna be 5.
I have no hint. Can I get an AFC or NFC?
I mean, I can give
Sometimes
you a hint.
sometimes they might have played 2.
Well, I mean, that would let me know if he says both or one or the other.
I'm pretty sure he's NFC.
NFC. Yeah, I mean, because it's wide receiver, so like I can't say Antonio Gates.
Do we got a decade?
Should be 90s.
Oh God, no wonder.
Think
you
it.
have
Think in
the
division.
touchdowns written down?
Think in division.
Chris Carter
There you go.
for the Vikings, right?
Yep. There you go.
Yeah. Come on, Fancy. All 5, brother?
I don't know that guy.
I don't know.
I don't know. I have no
I
idea
don't
who
know.
that guy is.
It's too early for Fancy. He's got off like a 12-hour shift. He's like, fuck
Yeah.
Chris Carter.
Yeah, it's 8 in the morning. I've been up for 18 hours. I'm like, we're doing good.
Hey, dude, shout out to Beasley for being, as young as he is,
I know that's
if you didn't say
impressive.
in division, I don't think, because I was thinking, then I was like going through divisions and I was like, it can't be Tony Gonzalez, can't be Gronk, can't be, because you said wide receiver, not tight end.
Yes, correct. Yeah,
And Larry really, when you said no Larry, I was like, man, I'm not going to get this because I thought he was top 5 receiver for sure. Wow. That was fun though. That was fun. Cool little graphics by
Yeah, I
by
like
Matt
that.
there.
I like that. I like that a lot.
But for that being said, that was our last segment for this podcast. But trivia is always fun. Stats comparison is always fun. Is there anything else you guys want to say before we wrap things up here?
Yeah, I've got a shout out to my nephew. For today's episode, I threw my first goal trophy in the background right here. That was something my dad put together when I scored my first goal in organized hockey. My nephew just scored his, and my brother actually went to the same shop that my dad got ours and put that together for him. So
Heck yeah, man. That's what's up.
so I had to, in honor of him, I had to throw that in the background real quick.
Yeah, I love it. Hopefully it's first of many.
Yep.
Fancy, anything before we go?
I had a bunch of wieners for lunch.
Dude,
Okay.
that fridge I sent you?
Dude. Pretty much. Pretty much.
But yeah, that'll do it for episode 3 here. Like I said, this week we did it bright and early for you guys. So hopefully you guys loved it and appreciated it. We'll have this uploaded in a few hours, so you guys will have it before the games. And yeah, make sure you guys are following us on our socials. We'll be posting on our TikTok and YouTube a lot more this week than we have in the past. If there's anything you guys want to see or hear or have us talk about, let us know in the comments. Let us know in the comments who's listening. If you made it this far into the podcast and you watched the whole thing, let us know. Let us know what your favorite part was. Let us know if you got anything right on the trivia or the stats comparison, who you guys picked. Have some fun in the comments. We'll be around to look at those things. But yeah, other than that, appreciate you guys tuning in, and we hope to see you guys next week. See you guys.
Later, guys.
See ya.